study was looking at small mammal activity in dead hedges in Bristol. Dead hedges have a similar structure to live hedges and are built from dead plant material. They are often found within nature reserves as a conservation effort, as they provide many benefits to the surrounding animals. At first, my partner and I wanted to use camera traps in this study. However, small mammals aren't as big as the animal I've drawn here, and so instead, we decided to use tracking tubes. So, we bought a 25-metre tube of black downpipe, which, as you can imagine, wasn't very practical to carry through busy streets of Bristol. We then had to saw our downpipe into 36 2.5-metre tubes, which took us a while and required a fair few biscuit breaks. These inserts were made out of corrugated plastic with a petri dish stuck in the middle. We then placed the bait inside the dish with tracing paper on either side to record the small mammal footprints as they ran over ink pads which were made by masking tape. This meant that we could identify the species present and amount of activity in the dead hedge. So, firstly, we had to measure and cut a lot of tracing paper to go on the inserts. These tracing paper strips were placed either side of the petri dish to collect the inky footprints that the small mammals leave behind. Once the tracing paper was cut, we would then place it on either side of the petri dish and secure it with masking tape. And with that, we had our final insert, which we could take to site. We visited Mammals Nature Reserve in South Bristol 3 times a week, where we would visit 6 dead hedges and place 6 trapping tubes in each. Sometimes, as you can see here, the weather was kind to us, but it was winter, and so sometimes the weather was also pretty wet. Once we got to site, we had to make the ink, which was made from a mix of black paint pigment and sunflower oil. We would then paint it onto the inserts so that they could act as the ink pads. The inserts were then placed into the tubes and secured with masking tape. We then placed the 6 tubes into their positions in the dead hedge, and this was done for all 6 of the dead hedges at site. The inserts were left out for 2 nights before returning. When retrieving the inserts, we measured the activity, which was shown by an absence of the bait, footprints, or my favourite, faeces or urine. Sometimes, however, we faced some problems when trying to retrieve our inserts. Behind one of our hedges there was evidence of a campfire, and 3 of our tubes were taken out of the dead hedge and burnt, which, as you can see, Alice was very upset about. So what did we find from this study? Firstly, we identified 4 small mammal species from footprint identification: the wood mouse, the field vole, bank vole, and brown rat. We also found that 98% of the 279 inserts we deployed over the length of our experiment had activity, which just shows that dead hedges are clearly a good habitat for the small mammals. So, overall, the main findings from our study were that dead hedges do provide a suitable habitat for small mammals, and this is important as they aid small mammal dispersal through a landscape, which is key for their survival, as without dispersal, their chance of extinction could increase.